Hello, everyone. I'm so excited it's finally working today. And last time I tried this, we had some sound tech issues. So I am so excited to be able to introduce you to, a lot of you already know him, but this is Bobby Donohue of Fuel Blue.
There you go.
And yeah, I'm going to have some tongue twisters in there with the
I
B's.
did that on purpose. Don't worry about it.
You totally did. And we're just going to have, a nice little chat about his journey as an entrepreneur and as a spouse and as a parent and kind of how he has managed all of it. Ashley is here. I'll show the comment that she just posted. Bobby!
Hello.
All right. So, Bobby, why don't you start us off by giving everyone a look at your family dynamic?
Oh, you know what? Today I was doing a live in my group, and just to give you an idea of the family dynamic, like the perfect thing happened that I wanted to share with you. I was in the middle of my live, and I usually do them at around 2 o'clock in my group when the kids are at school. But today I was out with a client, so I didn't get to it till around 4 o'clock. And I didn't realize that my daughter had to leave for gymnastics at 4 o'clock. So I texted my wife to say, I'm going live in my group. And then I hit send, and I immediately just went live. And texting me back, wait, Kayla's got to go to gymnastics. You have to say goodbye. And because as it turns out, when Kayla, she's a competitive gymnast. So whenever she goes to gymnastics, she and I have like a little routine that we do just to get her mindset straight.
Mm-hmm.
Just to shake off the day at school or anything that might be bothering her, because she doesn't want to take that with her to gymnastics and then go swinging on those bars and stuff. It's not good. So I just said to the group, I was like, hang on, I got to go do something. And I ran out of the room. And we did our thing real quick. And then I came back and everybody was still there. It took,
awesome.
20 seconds. Everybody stuck around. I was happy to see. And then I was just explaining, sorry, I had to do this thing with my daughter. And everybody's like giving me hearts and stuff like that. I'm like, yeah, this is great. It's like, and we all understand we're running households. We have relationships. We have families. We have lives and businesses, So it's like, I try to make the family stuff equally important, and a lot of times more important.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I think that's just one of the things that you kind of have to accept gracefully when you're a parent, and that's just, those things are important. So that comes above all else. I mean, we've had numerous times where we were supposed to go live with our coaching calls for our Academy members, and I remember one night we were a little late putting the kids to bed, and we just put up a quick post in the Facebook group, hey guys, we will be there. Just give us about 10 minutes. We got to do the bedtime routine. We got to read the story, and we got to give the kisses because they're like little mini Sheldons with, you have to do everything that we always do. But yeah, people get it. They understand. And if they don't, then I feel like those are, that's when people aren't your ideal audience.
Yeah.
If they can't understand that, then.
I find that most people I attract do understand it, and they actually applaud it.
Yeah.
I remember I have one client, she's like a grandma now, and I had to cancel a call with her one day, and I was like, I just had to, like, last minute, I'm very sorry, I can't make our call, and I explained to her, I have something, I don't remember what it was, but it was something I had to do for one of my kids, and at last minute it just popped up, and she, instead of like being angry or upset about it, she writes me back this beautiful email, like, it just warms my heart that you're such a wonderful father to your children. Of course, go take care of that. And I was like, yeah, I like you. You're a good so she's still my client, and it's great. So when I have people that aren't like that, I don't really attract people that aren't like that anymore. I just don't, because
I think that's
myself with like you guys.
Yeah, that's the beauty of when you finally get the clarity and you start sharing your message, is that normally you don't attract people that aren't your ideal clients. If they're seeing the real authentic you and they're reading your message, then you should automatically be attracting the right people, and kind of, the wrong people just kind of find their way to somebody else.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
exactly.
So your wife is supportive of your business and is starting to get into your business a little bit, you were saying?
Yeah, well, sometimes we talk about maybe being a little bit into my business, but I think really she wants to get into her own business.
Ah, okay.
And
All
yeah,
right.
she's really leaning into that much more. And I think the idea of working into my business was more of like it's easier,
Mm,
and it was kind of like I guess, not a crutch, but it was just like it was easier to think about since that business is already there,
yeah.
you know. But then the more we talk about it, she's like, yeah, I think I really want to do something over here. And we're both spiritual people, but my business isn't in like a spiritual realm, but
Mm,
that's where she wants to be. So it's like, it's nice. So we're both supportive of each other in that
yeah.
sense.
Well, and that's very nice because I know a lot of entrepreneurs who don't have a supportive spouse or they have a spouse who's supportive but they're not really entrepreneurial, and they struggle with not having that person to talk to and not having that person to kind of throw ideas off of.
Hmm.
So it's nice for you that she's at least in the business realm where she wants to start her own thing, even if it's not working with you. Has she always been that way, or is this kind of a new development?
No, in fact, what you just said, no, she has always been that way. It's not a new development. But what you just said, if I could just
Hmm.
clarify it, because what I mean is she doesn't really want to like work in my business with me, but
Gotcha.
it's always been my sounding board, and my business partner in the sense of this client is giving me a hard time. What do you think I should do? How should I handle this situation? I'm thinking of getting into this. What do you think? So we've always had that. So to say that she hasn't been a part of my business would be like wrong. She's been the whole thing. I'm just the one who then just goes, well, I'll go do it now. But it's like she's the one who decides with me that this is what you're doing, this is where I'm going, and we move in that direction. And then I'm just the one who goes downstairs and actually, does the thing. And that's really it. So she's always been that.
That's good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
that's
good.
nice.
Yeah,
That's
it is.
nice for you.
Mm-hmm.
Tom can't say the same. I was not always supportive or a part of the businesses, so it's been
Yeah.
a little bit of a rougher journey for him to get me to this point. But I'm here.
And we both like our sweatpants, so we're both team
Yes.
sweatpants. Yeah, the both
Yes.
of us. If we didn't have to get dressed, we would not. So, yeah,
I love it.
yeah. I got dressed for this, but
I sort of got dressed, not really. I
yeah.
have a Bazinga shirt on.
Well, I was wearing a different shirt all day, and I did a Facebook Live, and I watched it back, and I'm like, I like the way I look in this shirt, not on video, because sometimes you're wearing something, and just the way it crops in video, and
Yep.
all of a sudden it looks weird. It's like that's not what that shirt looks like on me. I was looking good all day, and now I don't like that. So I'm
The
like, I
things
gotta wear
entrepreneurs have to think of when I go live, is the shirt going to look
it.
right
Mhm.
in my Oh goodness. So I want to know, you've kind of moved around a little bit with what your business was. When you first started, you were doing websites, right?
Mhm.
What has been your biggest struggle in this journey? Like from back when you started all the way to now?
Knowing what I want to be when I grow up. That's been my biggest struggle. Seriously, I say a lot that I started making websites because I could. You know, it was like it was interesting. It was an interesting time because I started my business in 1997, and that was the year Laura and I were we had just gotten engaged. We were buying a house, and I started a business.
Oh,
And we were
geez.
getting married later in the year. So we did all three of those, life-changing events, boom, 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 one after another. And so it was like, I was like, I knew I wanted to get into my own business, and I was always very artistic. I had gone to school for graphic design. And I think what drew me to the web was that it was brand new. It was
Mm,
it was 1997. The web was
yeah.
brand new, and it was just like, wow, I want to be in on that, like, forward leaning thing, because I was working at a place making t-shirts, and I had moved up very quickly to where I was the art director. I was running the whole art department, designing t-shirts for parties and stuff like that. And I'm like, well, this is pretty cool. I only just graduated college a couple of years ago, and here I am running an art department. And I was like, but I don't want to be making T-shirts forever. So I saw the web as this way to sort of move forward into like more technical things. And but I quickly morphed into like branding and marketing stuff. But the web just sort of stuck. You know what I mean? I don't remember what your question was, but like, what was the hardest part of
biggest struggle?
I'm talking way too long about the web part of this, but I was just this web designer for so long that eventually it just became like, it's what I do, you know, and I didn't like it for a long time.
Mm.
And I was dabbling in a lot of other things. I'm also a musician, and I also make a TV show for kids. And so sometimes I'd be like, screw this business, I'm not doing it anymore. I'm doing this from now on. And except it was too big of a change too quickly. And then I was doing videos for myself and making videos for my own business. And then I would make a video for this client and a video for that client. And then people just started asking me stuff about video things. And I realized, man, I like doing videos way more than what I do, you know? So one day I just changed everything. Anywhere that said websites, I changed it to the word video and just changed everything. And now I'm meeting people who only know me as the video person.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just like, oh, you need to know videos? Bobby's the guy. And it's like, you know, it's like, yeah, I've been doing it a really long time, but I only just sort of established that fact, you know, and made it like publicly known. Yeah, this is me. This is what I do.
And how about,
that was your question?
Yeah, it was part of it for sure. And now I want to flip it on you. And what was the biggest struggle while trying to do this and being a spouse and also a parent?
Time. Time is the biggest struggle, you know, because like I've been interacting with so many people on Facebook lately. Facebook is like my favorite tool for my business. I'm finding so many great people on there, and I'm interacting in so many great groups, and it's becoming very time consuming to the point where if I'm not careful, I could be like not paying attention to the home stuff, you know? So it's like, I mean, for example, right now it's 8 something at night and I'm here instead of upstairs, you know, wrestling with my son or helping my daughter with things. But yesterday, I spent the entire afternoon with my daughter studying for her earth science regents, you know, when of course I had client work to do, but I had to help her with that because she was stressed out about it. It's a big test and she's nervous about earth science. And then she took it this morning. I think she did really well. We'll find out, but she felt pretty good about it. So, you know, it's like, it's a balancing act. It's like, I always say, you know, it's like I could probably be so much richer or more successful with my business if I just told those people upstairs, in my basement, in case you can't tell by my ceiling, if I told all those people upstairs, like, you know, I'll see you guys later, Daddy's going to work, see you in 10 years, you know, I could do that, and then I would be giving up far too much.
Yeah,
it's too much of a sacrifice for me. So that's why I work at home. I'm in my office, you know. We decided early on, even before we had kids, that I wanted to work from home and she wanted to be a stay-at-home mom, and that's just what we were doing. And we did it, that we made that happen, you know? So I'm pretty psyched about that.
And congratulations.
Well, thank you.
You're doing an awesome job. It sounds like you're doing the dad job better than a lot of people I know.
Well, I love the dad job. You know, I really do. I love being a dad, and I love and I'm lucky because I have one of each. I have a daughter and a son, you know, and each relationship has a different dynamic. I'm finding, and my daughter is a teenager now. She's going to be 14 in August. She turns 14. She starts high school next year, so it's like she's a young woman, you know. And last week I posted a couple pictures of her as she was going to her 8th grade semi-formal, and I was just like, who is this person? You know, it's like, you're not that little 2-year-old that used to jump on my head anymore. You're a young woman. It's amazing to me. And I love that. And I love being a part of her life and being that, you know, that male role model in her life. that I know is very important. And then with my son, he and I we just have this wonderful relationship. It's like, it's very, we're very connected, and like we have to wrestle every night. You know, he's got a very physical connection to me. He can't tell me a story without like holding my hand and touching me.
Aww.
Yeah. And he likes to come and hang out in my office sometimes and watch his iPad or play video games. And like I have a couch all set up over here. I can show you. You know, like all over here.
Oh, I love that. That is an awesome office.
You know, and then like there's a TV over there behind that light. You can't see it because the light's shining in your face, right? So I have all this set up on purpose so that, you know, the kids want to hang out with me, but I have to work. Come downstairs. You know,
yeah.
I'm here. You can come downstairs and be with me. It's great. And then you know, bedtime routine. My daughter is just like, good night. And she goes to sleep. And my son, it's still a whole rigmarole. You know, I have to get his bed ready with him and get him in pajamas. And then we have to wrestle for a while and play. We make up all these games. And it's like I come out of it like this, like, oh. But I wouldn't trade it for anything, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny because ours are the opposite. Our son, who is the 2-year-old, is the one who just like, oh, goodbye, I'm done. You go to read him stories, and sometimes he'll be like, no story, bed. And he just wants you to put him in the bed, and he's ready to go to sleep. And our daughter is the procrastinator.
Yeah.
Can I have more minutes? I just want to watch another YouTube video. I want to read him another story. I'm like, no, go to bed. You're 5. Go to bed.
Yeah. He'll stay up all night, my son, if you let him.
Yeah.
He'll just, we have to like, dude, are you going to bed tonight? At some time, you got to be up. It's almost school time, you know?
That'll be her. That'll be her when she gets into school and into her double digits. She'll be the one that wants to just stay up all night.
Yeah. My daughter would go to sleep at 7 o'clock if you let her. Good night. We haven't had dinner yet. What are you doing?
I think Tom would go to bed at 7 o'clock sometimes if I let him.
She's like, I gotta go to bed. I need my sleep. But I'm a night owl, and Luke, so is Luke, my son. He's a night owl, so we could just stay up all night if you let us.
So I want to know what have been either I guess you could do both if you want to do both. What do you feel is like your biggest failure so far? And then on the flip side, what's been like your happiest moment?
Failure in terms of what? Like anything, like
anything, business or personal, whatever. What's a moment that you had in so far since you've been an entrepreneur that was just like a really low point for you? Okay,
and what was the second half? I was stuck on the failure part.
What's your happiest moment?
Failure!
We can't talk about failure. Yeah, your happiest moment.
My happiest moment. All right. You know, it's funny. I always think I think there was a line in The Secret. You know that movie, The Secret. Mm-hmm. I think there was a line in it, or one of those people's books, maybe. But the guy said, "You succeed at the thing you value the most." You know, and I used to be very hard on myself for not being more successful in business, because it's easy to look at other entrepreneurs and see them with like you know. I like to sometimes point out those guys who like in front of their Lamborghinis and stuff like that.
Oh,
hey,
yeah.
let me give you a tour of my house today. You know, I was just talking about this today in my group.
Yeah.
You know, it's easy to look at those things and just start to feel like a failure, you know, or to take one particular moment when something didn't work and feel like a failure. Mm-hmm. And that would probably be when I created my Be a Rockstar course, because I wanted to just get into making a course. You know, and unfortunately, I didn't know you and Tom yet, because Tom would have said, "Don't make the whole course." But I didn't. You know, thanks a lot, Tom. You weren't around, dude.
Where were you?
Hey, where were you when I needed you, pal? You know. So what did I do? I was like, I know what people need. I don't need anyone to tell me what they need. I know exactly what they need. And I made this whole course and started to do like a Jeff Walker type launch. But I was missing so many pieces that I didn't even know existed. You know. And I think at the time, I don't look at this anymore as a failure, because I know it was a learning experience. You know, but nobody wants to hear that at the time, you know. So at the time, I kind of probably felt like this was a low point failure, because I put a lot into it, but more than that, I think it was because I was not focusing on what was already working in the hopes of just switching gears and like making a quick buck, you know, or something like that. And I've learned so much since then. Like, that's not how you do it. It needs to be more organic, and you need to just, you know, ask people what they want before you build it, for crying out loud, you know. And so there was that.
You just touched on so many good points.
I know, right? That answer right there was like a whole.
It was encompassing. It was all encompassing.
Yeah, I know, but that really was, I think, maybe not like there have been plenty of times where I've just felt like maybe I should just get a job, you know. And I know we all feel like that, so I'm not ashamed to say it, you know, because I know we all feel that way sometimes. Sometimes it's just like, what is the point of this? Why am I doing this? It's too hard. You know, it's like maybe you're just expecting something to come in, like you're waiting for a client to come in, and then they just cancel the project or something like that. And you just like, I just want to kick myself, you know? But the flip side of that question is what really interests me, because I feel like the things that I value the most, I have been nothing but successful with. And that is the family stuff and doing my business on my own terms. You know, like I said earlier, I could easily just tell them to go, you know, go to grandma's house, do something else, and I'm working. I could do that, you know, and probably make more money, but it would sacrifice my relationship with my wife. It would sacrifice my relationship with each of my children, and not even just the relationships, but the things that I would miss. You know, tomorrow is my daughter's final in something, and then afterwards we're taking her out for pancakes and then going to the 5th grade moving up ceremony because my son is going into middle school. So that's my day tomorrow, you know?
Yeah.
I got client work to do, but I'm doing that first, and then I'll come home and do the client work, because they're not going to know that I'm doing that. So these are the things that are important to me, and I feel like each one of them is a major success. The fact that I'm here, I'm doing this thing, I'm at this event, I'm at my son's field day, I'm at my daughter's recital and or gymnastics meet, or even I'm sitting at the dinner table with them. You know, I'm not at an office somewhere and they're eating and I just come home and kiss everybody while they're fast asleep because I missed the day.
Yeah.
You know, those are my successes, and I count each of them as the greatest success.
It sounds like a great day.
It is a great day. Which one? Tomorrow?
Your tomorrow.
Tomorrow, yeah. Tomorrow is going to be a great day. I'm looking forward to it. I owe my daughter a daddy-daughter date. And there's a restaurant we want to go to. But there have been things. She's very busy with gymnastics and with school. So it's like, as soon as this is over, tomorrow's not going to be the date. It's going to be an evening out, just me and her. But so I'm looking forward to that. And those are the things, you know?
Yeah.
Those are the things.
Yeah, I love that. We obviously our kids are a lot smaller, so we don't have all of the extracurricular activities yet. But our daughter does play soccer on Friday nights. So Friday evenings have become, you know, we get home, we all eat dinner together, we get ready for soccer, and we go watch her play. And then, unfortunately, our son's a little young, so it's like right in the middle of his bedtime. So, but I would like to, you know, eventually be able to like go out for ice cream or do fun stuff afterwards. So I look forward to being able to do more of that stuff as a family. That's definitely what we're in it for. All the family stuff goes on the calendar first, as we always say. I love daddy-daughter dates. His favorite is we have a museum of play here in our city, and they absolutely love going to that together. So that's their preferred daddy-daughter date. I like the movie dates myself.
That's my son and I.
The movie dates?
We do the movie thing. See, when my daughter has her gymnastics meets, they're always in the winter. So from like maybe November, December into like March, and they're usually away. So my wife and daughter will go away, usually overnight. And so my son and I, we call it boy night. you know, and we get like burgers and fries from Two Brothers or something, and we go to the movie theater, and there's a theater near us that has the stadium seating.
Oh,
Except
yeah.
it's like your own personal couch. Like they stretch out and the feet come up. And
Yeah, we have
it's
those.
amazing.
They're so nice.
We went and saw Star Wars movies that way, and the Star Wars movies now come out every December, and his birthday's in December. So now we've made it a thing where every December it's his birthday, we go see Star Wars for his birthday. So we've done that now, like the last, I guess, however many there have been, 2 or 3.
Our daughter keeps asking if she can watch Star Wars, and I'm like evaluating her age. I'm like, well, we'll just wait one more year, maybe just one more year. So I want to, before we wrap things up, and you get back to your kids, and maybe if your son's still awake, do some wrestling. What advice or lesson do you want people to take away from your story?
Pay attention to the things you value, and well, I didn't really touch on this, but stop worrying about money. You know? I think that the times where I have felt like a failure have been the times when my focus was primarily on money than on the things that I value. And when I've been able to flip that, I am enjoying myself more because I'm doing the things that I like to do, and the money thing sort of fixes itself. You know? So I know that you know what I'm talking about, and I think that other people in your audience will understand it that way too. So I don't need to get too much into the universal part of that. But I think that would be what I would hope most people would take from my story.
Yeah, I like that. That's a good piece of advice. Don't worry about the money. Just let it happen.
Yeah. I mean, you gotta get up and go to work. Don't get me wrong. I still I still work hard, but I think it's that I don't take action to make the money. I've switched it so that it's like, what can I do? Like here's a business point, right? I've switched my mindset to be, how can I be of more value to people? So I started my Facebook group, and I've been being active in more Facebook groups. And I just go in and answer people's questions. And you know what's happening is people are asking me to be on their things. You know what I mean? I'm doing yours tonight. I'm doing another one tomorrow night. And I didn't go into these groups all like, I got to find clients. That wasn't even the objective, but it's
happening.
It's happening. Yeah. It's happening.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, we recently obviously rebranded and have been just doing a lot of exercises on clarity and making sure that our message is clear. And that is one of the biggest ones right there. Is everything in the online world and in the business world even is all about how much money you're making and how successful your business is and this, that, and the other. When I think you're completely right that the focus should be first on the value that you're giving people. And now depending on what your business is, you may have your value may be a paid service, or your value may be, a product. So you kind of have to figure out what that means for you. But whatever it is, give value to people and they will find you and they will want to pay you for your services because you're giving your value for free. You're not asking them for anything.
Yeah.
And people appreciate that because we're getting bombarded with people asking us for money all the time. And, if you just offer it up and say, hey, here, this can help you. I want to help you. People are going to come back and find you. And sure, there's going to always be people that are just, bopping around and getting all the free content from everywhere.
Yeah.
But those aren't the people that are going to be taking action because they're always just learning more from people's free content. So, you got to find your people.
It's interesting. If I could just add to that point about people who take the free content, because I'm into video marketing and making the content, So some people say, I don't want to make all this content and give it away for free. Then I'll have nothing to sell.
Yeah.
And to that, I tell them 2 things. First of all, there are 3 types of people that are going to take your content, and I'll tell you them in a second. But people don't want to pay for your content. They want to pay you to execute your knowledge for them. So it's like, if I'm learning some amazing stuff from you, yeah, I may be somebody who's going to just go do it myself. Well,
Mm-hmm.
thanks, but there are plenty of people who, that's the first person, right? They're just going to go do it themselves. But those people might refer you to somebody else, or
Yes.
they might share your stuff. And then what's going to happen is you're going to run into more of the second kind of people, which are they're going to they're going to see the value in what you do and say, I just want you to do it. I just want you to do it because you obviously know what you're talking about. And then the third kind of person just doesn't care,
Mm-hmm.
and then so they're going to see your content and be like, this isn't for me. And because you're putting so much out there, you're going to sift them away because they're just going to get away from you, and then you're going to get more and more and more of the people who are really in alignment with what it is that you're offering. And if you're offering it through all this free content, then people are either going to be referring you or hiring you to put it into effect for them.
Yes. Yeah, I love that. Those three kind of people.
Mm-hmm.
We're looking for people number 1 and 2.
Yeah, right.
All right. So before we wrap up, because I don't want to keep everyone too much longer, tell everyone where they can find you, your group, your social media, your website, all that good stuff.
Well, the name of my company is Fuel Blue. So you can see my website is fuelblue.com. It's like gasoline and the color, FUELBLUE. And I also run a Facebook group to teach entrepreneurs how to make and use video. And it's called Video for Business, The Art of Audience Attraction. And that's at facebook.com/groups/audience attraction. And that's really, if you also want to see my videos, I have a YouTube channel. I'm Fuel Blue on YouTube. So just FUELBLUE and you'll find me.
And I just want to share a comment. Ashley Grant says, "You're my boy, Blue."
Thanks, Ashley.
She is too funny. But I am in Bobby's group, and he is always in there sharing all sorts of value on attracting your clients and getting out and getting in front of people and all sorts of great tips and tricks on video, getting comfortable in video, what equipment you should be using, which doesn't have to be a lot, everything. So if you are an entrepreneur who needs to learn how to make better use of video in your business, you should definitely check out Bobby's group. And if you are not yet in our group, we're sharing this live from our page, Tom and Ariana, we have our free group as well, which is Family Entrepreneur Life. And that is all about entrepreneurs coming together, everyone who's building a business to create a better life for their family, people who are putting families first. So that is all for this evening. Thank you all for watching live with us. Bobby, thank you so much for being a guest on the show.
Thanks for
and at some point, I do want to start a series with experts as well for the group. So I would love to have you back on as the video expert.
I can do that. I know that stuff.
I know that stuff. All right. You guys have a great, great night. Bobby, it was great to see you, and we'll see you around the group.
Thank you.